What's going on? Welcome to November, which means we're looking at game pickups for October. Hope everybody had a great Halloween. I had a lot of kids come to work to my door this year, about 70 kids, which is kind of crazy, but fun. Of course, the neighbors across the street had their projector screen up, so I got to watch basically Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus. So that was entertaining. Yeah, so as far as games go, it's been kind of an interesting month. I did get a package from GameStop, which we haven't done in a while. It's sitting over here. I figured it might be fun to open up. I've been waiting for 3 weeks to actually see what kind of condition it's in. So we're going to see if it has a case, if it doesn't have a case. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably be the last thing that we end up doing. First of all, we're going to jump into things. And of course, I couldn't resist picking this up. So I got the Genesis Mini 2. Having a blast with it. It's actually sitting off to the side. I've been playing it, really enjoying it. I don't know. I would recommend it for people who are hardcore Sega Genesis fans, but there are some flaws with it. I mean, the emulation again isn't perfect by any means. There's some sound issues, flickering, but some of the extra games included are pretty fun, especially since there's Space Harrier 2 that was redone by M2. But overall, I mean, honestly, I would, if you're interested in something like that, go for it. Just if you're nitpicky, probably a pass. But absolutely, if you're a Sega Genesis fan. Moving on from that, I ended up grabbing this from Play Asia. This was a freebie included with Record of Lotus Wars D-Lit in Wonderland. This is an art book and the soundtrack. I found that Play Asia was actually selling this separately for 20 bucks. So I figured after shipping it was $25. Might be worth it. And I really enjoyed the game. It's probably one of my top games of 2022. So, of course, I wanted to further support it. Now, the art book and everything is in Japanese. It was not translated to English. But for the soundtrack and everything, I mean, very ambient sounds and everything, I thought it was great. This one isn't so much of an official game release. I ended up picking this up because I've really been getting into the Sakura Wars series and wanted to try it out. So this is an English patch of the original Sakura Wars on Sega Saturn. This is a reproduction done by Arctic Game Cave. Cliff does a really great job. I want to support him as much as I can. Money, of course, is always a problem, but he makes them super cheap and affordable for people. So if you're missing out on some of this, plus the fan translations that they have, he usually releases on physical disc. So he does a great job on these disc designs too. So of course we have Sakura there. Really great stuff. If you can find him, he's on Twitter. You can find him out there. Or those ArcticGameCave.com, I believe, is his website. But he's got all kinds of stuff. He does a lot of stuff for Sega CD, Sega Saturn, the Wonder Swan. He was doing stuff for a while for the Nintendo Disk Drive, or DD. And he's got some other things in the works. He also does repro manuals of Sega Genesis games and prototype games as well, like Akira for the Sega Genesis that was never officially released. He has on a full cartridge that you can actually purchase from him. Great guy. He's helped me out with a lot of things on getting some Sega Saturn imports that are way out on my price range, and I've enjoyed those. So this is a very heavy, or Switch-heavy month, I guess. Of course, I ended up picking up, again, Persona 5 Royal. I got the Steelbook, because I can't resist Steelbook cases for video games for whatever reason or another. But I've already beaten this on PlayStation 4, but I figured having the Switch version was kind of unique, even though there's no difference in it per se, but it does include all the DLC and everything. And Bayonetta 3, which actually just finished last night. I had fun with it. Gameplay was great. I do feel the Switch struggles a little bit, actually playing more of the heavier, bigger set pieces in this game. Overall, it's good. I do wonder what direction the series itself is going to take after seeing the ending on this. I will say I was a little disappointed. But that's not to mean that it's not a game worth picking up. I would recommend it, especially into action games like Devil May Cry, and the past Bayonetta series, games in the series as well. This one I've been waiting for a long time. Valis! This is the first collection, finally got it here in the West. I was going to import this from Japan, but I figured since Limited Run was going to have their own copy with the English rating and everything on it, I figured why not? I'll wait. I love the Valis collection. It has been on my most wanted list for the Sega Genesis for a very long time, and thankfully Castlevania Games Limited Run, Retrobit, are all releasing the Valis game repos on the Sega Genesis, or re-release of it, I should say, an official re-release. So I did end up grabbing that as well, so hopefully it'll come, but I think it's not shipping until January, so got a long ways to go. But for now, this will keep me busy. This has Valis 1, 2, and 3, and it's the original Valis 2, which we never really got here. So super excited. Been wanting to jump into this for a long time and enjoy these games just because of the weird niche late 80s, early 90s anime stuff. So yeah, must have for me. Another interesting one, Strictly Limited released the Zero Tolerance collection, which has 3 games from the Zero Tolerance series, one that was never really released, and its sequel. This was a Sega Genesis game, released the original Zero Tolerance was, which was kind of unique because back in the day there was a adapter you could get that would tether 2 Sega Genesis together, and you would be able to play 2-player on that. So it has a little bit of a unique history because that is the only game I believe on the Sega Genesis that actually has that function. And now to be able to play the game on the Switch, as well as the other 2 games, was kind of fun. And then they included a couple of these little like mini postcard things with some unique designs and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. Another steelbook I had to pick up: Chaos Head, Child, and Noah. These were releases from the Xbox 360 release in Japan. We never really got this over here in the West until now. These are just visual novels with some kind of adult-oriented themes. There is some extras in here too that the past versions got, plus it's in English and translated. So there was versions of this. I believe Chaos Head Choo Choo was on the PlayStation Vita. And I haven't been able to grab that just yet. I don't know if I will, just because of how text-heavy that game is. But I wanted to check it out. I'm getting into visual novels a little bit more as well. And the big release we got was the Cursed Knight for the Sega Genesis. I thought this was really cool. I ended up backing this on Kickstarter. Of course, being it was a Sega Genesis release and it looked really fun, I wanted to jump on that. Actually, we're going to open this up because I want to know what kind of cartridge I got, because I don't remember. So we're just going to unbox this here, because what's the point? And we're going to check this out. It has a little sticker on the side, which they always, seems like these newer releases always do. Broke Studio. So let's see. Come on. There we go. Ooh. What do we got here? So we have a game card. I'm not sure. Just kind of unique. Double side here. There we go. Focus. So that's kind of cool. Looks like we have a full manual here. Well, not a full manual. It's got a couple pages here, which is actually in color, which is kind of cool. Has some images and stuff from the game itself. Here's the front cover done in the original Sega Genesis style, which I think is pretty cool. And we also have a full pull-out poster, which has Kill Them All. Kind of cool. And then, of course, the game itself, they have in plastic, and it's a pretty blue color. Kind of unique. I love how like some of these later releases all have like different color cartridges. Makes things fun. At least I feel. I don't know. Some people don't like it. And of course, there was also the soundtrack that was included. The Cursed Knight with 27 tracks, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's the Cursed Knight. As I get all this back in here somehow. There was some other extras also included. There was like a coaster. As I get this shut here. Come on. Why are you struggling so hard for a poster? There we go. So there was this coaster by Broke Studio, which I thought was fun. A couple stickers. There's 2 of these basically, and then a little advertisement that they've done for their games and such. You know, the little fold-out thing. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. Now on to the mystery thing. So we have a little package here. I had a $10 gift card to use at Best Buy. I figured, why not? And there was this one game that I was eyeing. I saw it at a game store that in Wisconsin, but I figured if I can get it for half the price from GameStop, we'll see. So let's see. We're gonna open it up here, and oh, looks like it is complete. So this is Tokyo Xanadu EX. And I wanted to pick this up because the original I played on the PlayStation Vita, and I really liked it. It was one of the few Falcom games on the system. Yeah, let's see. No manual, of course, but it does have the disc. So that's pretty cool. I was worried for a while that it wouldn't be complete and it would just be the disc itself, but that's cool. Super excited. I will be jumping into this one soon as well, just because the difference between this one and the PlayStation Vita version was the fact that there was some extra cutscenes and an extra character not included on the Vita version. So the Vita version story itself was not 100%. It was kind of like they left you at a cliffhanger, revealing the character who would actually be shown in this version. So it was kind of weird. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if it was like a memory thing or capability of the storage of the Vita at the time. But yeah, it's just very strange. So I hope to get the full story by playing this and playing the extra character. But that's all I've got for October. November should be some more interesting releases. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.